everybody. Hey, hope you're having a great morning. That is one of the better ways to start. I was writing some things that were very precious to my heart. One of the things I talked about was my tremendous gratitude for each one of you. My gratitude for my existence, my gratitude and my desire to do good, my desire to help others, my desire to live an extraordinary life. Look, some people lack even the desire. So you being on this call or being on this Zoom call or video conferencing is a sign of your commitment to wanting to be more. So here's what we know is inevitable. We know that what is inevitable is change. We're seeing it everywhere right now. It is inevitable that change is happening. The one thing that is not a guarantee in our lives is our ability to grow. So my question to you is the same question that was asked of my own son a week ago by a sports psychologist who said these words to him. Through all of the moratorium that you're under in regards to your baseball, the one thing I'm asking all of my major league players, my NHL players, any type of athlete, I'm asking them this one question. When all of this subsides, are you going to come back stronger or are you going to come back weaker? So that is an important question. I know I started with that in the beginning of the week, but here we are, 5 days into it. So are you going to show up and are you going to be stronger or weaker? You may say, well, man, that sounds like just real positive talk. Well, it's a lot better talk, right? When we talk about, I haven't even erased this because I still have stuff I want to go through with you, but that's a whole heck of a lot better message and story that I'm going to come back stronger than I'm going to come back weaker. Let's think about that for a moment. Now, look, life has seasons. If you have the opportunity to live in a state where you have 4 distinct seasons, like Utah has, right? It's interesting. There's a winter, there's a fall, there's a spring, there's a summer. There's all these 4 seasons. And you can't just get rid of one of the seasons. You don't just sit there and go, well, I really don't like the summer. Too hot. Let's eliminate that, right? Or, hey, let's just pull January off of the calendar because sometimes January can get pretty bleak, pretty dark, and it's a season. Okay? I want you to think about the fact that you're in a season. You're in a season of crisis, a season of challenge, right? You're in a season of difficulty, season of change. But in that same season is the time frame in which you can grow at extraordinary levels. So look, there seems to be a weaving, a commonality through this week, right? That we've talked about leadership. We've talked about weaving in from the compassion, the service. I'm seeing such extraordinary acts of service from so many of you. I love what you're posting online, right? The good book says, love God, love your neighbor. So are you doing so? Do you have to earn a commission check to serve, to give? Because when you put out to this wonderful, beautiful, abundant universe, when you give, you get. Now, some of you right now, I guarantee you, because I know it is just humanity, and there's a percentage of you that are saying, oh gosh, that sounds just like positive talk. And I'm here to tell you that it's deeper than that. Ask and ye shall receive. That is not a new concept. There has always been plagues, earthquakes. You know, if you're in Utah, which is crazy, when I tell people in California that the seagull is the state bird because of the locusts that came. I get it, that there's all this stuff coming at us, right? But the fact of the matter is that each one of us still has a choice to craft a story that serves us, to create patterns, structures, rituals, disciplines that serve us. And we have the ability to do that. It is not beside ourselves to do so. So yes, in California, are we still going to close escrows? Absolutely we are. Do we believe that falls within the financial district of doing and being able to do so? Absolutely. Right? Is it going to have challenges in regards to can you go out and do an open house? No, don't go do that. But can you do a virtual open house? Can you still list homes like have been this week in the whole enterprise between Utah and California? Nearly 80 homes this week have been listed. Nearly 60 homes have gone under contract. Nearly 50 homes have sold and actually closed this week. So look, business is happening, but how creative are you? Yesterday in my interview and my time spent with Justin Nudie, it was great. He kept talking about creativity. How creative are you going to be? Now look, can you have guidelines where you say what is moral, ethical, and honest? Yes. Can you find a way that is moral, ethical, and honest to do business today? The answer is right now, yes. Yes, you can. So I'm going to challenge you to find a way. Now I want to remind you a little story because I love baseball, and almost every morning or every message has to have at least a baseball analogy in it, right, Russ? Yeah. Got to have baseball, okay? Because we love baseball. Go Dodgers. All right. So here's the deal. So years and years ago, and this, look, mother of memory is repetition. And I committed this week that I would tell you, share with you, show you, after all the crises I've been through, building Everest in the worst economic market we've ever seen, and we might have another one. But how did that happen? I am telling you, it is how you lead your life. And it is this principle that became a key one to the success of this organization and for others who have extraordinary success. So simple. Isaac is playing baseball, and he's up there swinging the bat. He has one at bat, strikes out. He has a second at bat, strikes out. He has a third at bat, strikes out. They've gone through the rotation, striking out, striking out, striking out, him. But here's what's crazy. All the rest of the team doing great stuff. They're hitting like crazy. So like a, over the top parent, I come around the fence to the dugout and I go, Isaac, and I pull him over here. And this is when he's like, 11 or 12, and I kneel down and I get right at his level and I grab his little jersey and I said, hey, and he's all, what? I said, you have prepared your whole life. And even though he's only 11 or 12, I said, you have prepared your whole life for this moment. Guys, you have prepared your whole life for these moments, this moment, today. The challenges are at, you have prepared your whole life for this moment. So even though I was talking to an 11 or 12-year-old on my knee, I bent down, I said, you prepared your whole life. You have had the best coaches. You have had the best training. You have had MLB players teach you how to swing the bat. I had to buy the little bit by the shirt. And I shook him and went, hey, figure it out. And he said, he looked at me, because he has these big, beautiful blue eyes. And he looked at me, he's like, oh, okay. And I shook him again, kind of went, figure it out. Now, I can't grab every one of you by your shirt and shake you just a little bit. But come on, figure it out. The government is not going to save you. Let's make sure we're clear. They have a right to protect you, protect the people, save you, let's just say, physically, but they're not going to save you mentally and emotionally. You know that. Are you still, as of Monday, still watching the news? Every major thing that's happening, someone's going to tell you about it. Stop watching the news. I'm serious about that. Right now, make a commitment to cut it off, because anything major is going to come to you. If it's a major alert, it's going to come on your phone. So knock it off. You've prepared your whole life for this moment. Step up and figure it out. So when little Isaac walked, I stood up, he walked back to the dugout. He got up again. And this time he cracked a shot all the way over the head, because they'd all moved up. They're like, this guy's not going to hit a ball. This guy's checked out. Everyone else is hitting, move up close, because even if he hits something, it's going to be weak. So he blasts the ball all the way to the fence. It rolls out, and he hits a triple. Guys, I am here to tell you that you have the capacity to figure out whatever comes at you. And some of you have checked out and thought, well, looks like the government's done what it's done. So what are we going to do? That is not who you are. You have prepared your whole life for this moment, for these moments, to lead and to lead out strong. Look, I have a dear friend. He's a mentor, father figure. He is one of the most important people of my life. Some of you know him. His name is Tom Lloyd. And when I was talking to him, I don't know, probably 6, 10, 12 months ago, I don't know when it was, but last year. And I remember sitting with him, and this guy is economically over the top wealthy, right? And as I'm talking to him, I'm telling him about the journey I've been on. And he starts talking about the fact, he goes, I've realized, and he's in his mid-70s, and he says these words. He said, there are some people who fight, and there are some people who run. And he said, what I've observed in you over these many years as we've known each other is that you are someone who fights and doesn't give in. Doesn't give in. So the question I'm asking you, have you shown up this morning 5 days really into this game? 5 days. You're 5 days in. Right? You may say, oh, no, it started even a little. Okay, great. Maybe you're 10 days in. Maybe you're 2 weeks where you started to really feel the panic. Are you going to show up and win your game in life? Are you going to figure it out? Yesterday, I talked about the idea of commitment. Commitment is shown in 2 ways. Personal discipline. And number 2, creativity. You find a way. You figure out a way that is moral, ethical, and honest. You find a way. Will you show up stronger when this is all done? Will you show up greater than you were or weaker than you were when this is all done? Because we're going to get through this. That's not even an option otherwise. We will get through it. But I guarantee you that you will look back and ask yourself, how did I respond to the moments of crisis? You have prepared your whole life for this moment. So step forward, step up, be the leader for your family, those you love, those you care for, and your clients, your sphere, your potential clients. They need to hear your voice. They need to see you. They need to hear from you. So whether or not it's by a video that's a video text, whether it's a FaceTime or of the like a Zoom call or Skype, get serious about communicating. So this morning, I was reading something, and I want to read it to you. It hangs on my wall over here, and it's called The Man in the Arena. It's a real famous thing by Theodore Roosevelt. Some of you have certainly heard it, but has there ever been a time in your life where this is more relevant? So let me just read it to you. It says, the man in the arena says, it is not the critic who counts. Lots of critics. You can be critical of me, critical of the brokerage, critical of the other agents, critical of your governor, critical of your president, critical of everything. Don't be that person. Someone asked me if they thought the president was doing a good job. And my words were this: I don't care what the president's doing. I care what I'm doing. Because I have no impact on what the president does. I care what I'm doing here, and my actions. Because I am not going to turn over my life, my outcome, my future to another human being. Period. So are you going to let that happen? Are you going to walk around like the man in the arena, the people who stand outside of it? It is not the critic who counts. Not the man who points out how strong men stumble. Are you the guy or gal who's mocking? Are you the guy or gal who's watching people stumble, making light, making fun, telling people how it can't be done? Is that you? Stop it now. Or where the doer of good deeds could have done better. They could have done better. You could have done better. Every one of us, me not even excluded, could have done better. Every one of us could have done better. But are you the critic who points out they could have done better? The nonsense of whether Trump should or shouldn't have taken it more serious or not serious and faster. Come on. That is not where your focus needs to go. Get serious about finishing strong. You've prepared your whole life for this moment, not to be a critic, but to be a leader, not in criticism, but a leader in your life, in the light and in the goodness and in the beauty. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena. Are you sitting on the bench right now? Are you waiting to see what happens? Are you sitting and waiting? That is not leadership. That is not great leadership. That is not extraordinary. That's leadership because every one of us leads. But if you want to lead outside of the arena, you want to lead sitting on the bench, then lead there. That's your choice. But what a disappointment that would be. That's not who you are. Then it goes on to say, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood. Oh, I'm sorry, I skipped. The credit belongs, if I got ahead of myself, the credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes up short again and again. You might come up short, but aren't you going to come with blood, sweat, and tears, working through this, managing through it, pushing through it, driving your life through it? Because there is no effort without error or shortcomings. But who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasm, the great devotion, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place, small, never be with, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory or defeat. Are you already acting like you're defeated? Are you already acting like the game is over? This is a season. There are 4 seasons. This is a winter. I get that. And it's a cold winter. And it's going to maybe get a little colder. So how will you move through this season? Will you do what's necessary to come out stronger? Change inevitable, growth not. So look, I want to just recap these last few weeks, or few days, sorry, not few weeks, few days. Here's the last few days. Gratitude is the antidote to fear. You need to break patterns. I want to talk about this. This is about the way in which you structure your life. I want to point out that how you start your day, how you move through your day, how you end your day, that is a decision up to you. How will you move through your day? And I wrote down here, how much rest will you get? How much exercise will you get? How much nutrition and hydration? How will you feed yourself? How will you feed your soul? How will you feed your mind emotionally and mentally? Meditating, praying, visualizing, writing in your journal, right? Listening to the right things, spending time doing the right things. Gang, confidence is necessary in today's marketplace, and structure brings it. And last, prospecting. Right now, I wrote down next to that yesterday or 2 days ago, I wrote down the word leadership, because my observation is that prospecting is about leadership. Remember the statement I made a few days ago. I do what I'm supposed to do despite how I feel. I do what I'm supposed to do despite how I feel. Unless you're a freak of nature, which I'm going to say you're not, most of you are not going to feel like talking to people today. There's a lot of fear. So how are you going to get out of that? You make the call. You talk to the people. You say to yourself a new message, a new story, right? A new belief. I am a leader. Homes are selling daily. I take listings daily. I'm the leader. I'm the best agent for the job. And you're saying, man, why are you saying all that? Because what's the opposite? Well, I don't know if homes are going to sell. Well, I don't know if this is going to work out. What's the government going to do? Oh my God. Am I going to get it? Look, you earn over about 150 grand a year. You aren't getting any breaks. Most of you listening to this are earning that. What do you, I mean, you actually believe a few $1,000 is going to change the course of your life? You know, and I know that's not even reality. So stop waiting for a government bailout. Act mentally, emotionally, and physically. Now let's go down to here, number 3. There is an opportunity here. In all adversity, there is an opportunity. Are you going to sit down? Are you going to strategize? Are you going to, in your journal, ask a better question? How do I get through this? Question mark. Not why is this happening? When you use the why, all that happens is whining. Not why, not whining. You want to figure out sometime in your life while this is happening, people want to point it to religion. People want to point it to the corruption of the world and the evils of the day. Not me. I don't care right now why. What I care about is how and what will I do differently. How and what, not why. It is irrelevant why. What are you going to do about it? Because the only way that you act and bring action into your life is when you start asking better questions that finds the opportunities that are there. How do I get a hold of people? How do I do business today? How do I do this when people are quarantined? How do I do this when people are told to stay in lockdown and not leave unless it's for healthcare and medicine and going to the store to get food? How? I'm not going to give you every answer, but I will tell you this. The answers to the test are this. You start asking better questions and revelation will occur. You will have things revealed to you, but not when you are whining. That is not how opportunity presents itself. It is presented by asking better questions. How will I communicate with my clients? How will I show properties? How will I designate? How will I get it to where I can actually sell real estate in today's market? There is a way. You find ways. You strategize. You mastermind. You work with people. You find ideas. And you find them because you're committed. Opportunity is a decision of either scarcity or abundance. We underline that. Scarcity or abundance. It is a mindset of scarcity. There is not enough. What am I going to do? This is so bad. Oh my goodness. What am I going to do? No. This universe. See, this is my story. I hope it will be something similar to yours. This universe is built to give me everything I want. So what are you going to do to remain in the spirit and the energy and the mindset, the heart, the emotion of abundance? This universe is built to give you everything you want. Ask and ye shall receive. I didn't come up with that. But I know, what is it, just a tagline? Is it just something everyone made up? All the great spiritual teachers of the past? It doesn't matter whether we're talking about Jesus or Wayne Dyer. It doesn't matter whether we're talking about anybody. Because anyone who comes to a spiritual center understands that this universe is built to give you everything you desire. So what do you want? Find an opportunity. Because here's the deal, gang. People are still absolutely excited to buy and sell real estate. That desire, strangely, for our good fortune, never goes away. It might be tempered for a moment, but the moment the floodgates open, you know what it's like. Markets are raging, homes are selling, great opportunities are out. People are pulling money from the stock market. They're doing anything and everything they can. You don't think that that's going to happen again? Do you really believe that your current circumstances, like I started the beginning of the week with, that your current circumstances are going to last forever? Hogwash. That is an absolute false statement. They will not last forever. You are in a season. You are in the winter. We will have a spring. We will have have a summer, and then there'll be a fall, and guess what? There'll be another winter sometime down the road, because that's what life delivers. There's seasons. So look, there are all these estate sales. There are people who pass away. There's downsizing. There's divorce. There's job loss. There's job transfer. There's investment. There's second homes people want to buy. There's the first-time home buyers. Rates have never been lower. So how will you communicate? How will you talk to your people? How will you video the homes that you get to sell? How will you interact? There's so many great ways to do this. But find a way, right? Grab it. Find a way. Figure it out. Because I'm not there to kind of shake you. But I'm hoping today shakes you a little bit. You can either start strong or finish strong. This is about finishing strong. So look, we've talked about your current circumstances don't equal your future. We've talked about new stories that you've prepared your whole life for this very moment. We've talked about that you find a way. We've talked about commitment and creativity and discipline. We've talked about communicating, over-communicating. We've talked about the antidote to all fear is gratitude. All of it is gratitude. So the question I still pose to each and every one of you is there are solutions. I really believe that my statement always is, there are no problems. There are only just solutions yet to be found. Great leaders solve problems. So are you going to solve a problem? Are you really going to solve the problems? Because if you solve the problems, that's what makes you the great leader that you are, that you already are. You're already that person. So I get the fact that we haven't talked about objection handling today. I get the fact that I've handled more of the objections that are going on right here. That's the objections we've been talking about. What story are you telling yourself? So look, as we wrap up, today you have a choice. And if you don't think you do, shame on you for that story. Stop that story, because you always have a choice. Here's the choice. You get to choose today what you're going to focus on. You get to choose to focus on abundance, possibility, prosperity, finding a way, asking better questions, focus on gratitude, focus on service, focus on giving, focus on being a light, staying bright, staying in your center. See, you get that privilege to focus there. Or on the other side of the coin, you can focus on all the poison, the negativity, listening and reading the media, or listening to the media, reading about the media. Stay away from the news. Now, get off your phone, get off your computer. Go talk with people on your phone. Communicate with people, lead people, guide them, navigate them. Look, I believe the three fundamentals, we'll wrap up with this. If you're taking notes, write these three things down. The three fundamentals of all great leaders. Number one, protection. They protect their fortress. They protect the castle. They protect themselves. They protect others. They protect their family. They protect their clients. They protect the vision. They protect their finances. They protect their homes. They protect. Number one ingredient to a great leader is they protect. Not the number one objective of a leader is the vision. Protect the vision, but protection is the fundamental thing of a great leader. Are you being a warrior today? A warrior. Not a sheep, not weak, not in a place of scarcity and uncertainty. No, a warrior who brings calm, a center, peace, right? Because after a war comes peace. So a warrior is on all sides of the coin. Peaceful, calm, patient, compassionate, and fierce, bold, direct, fights, protects. Are you going to be a warrior today who protects? Number two, are you going to teach and educate? That's what great leaders do. They teach their people. They lead them by their example in their teachings. They speak of the teachings. Look, I get it. It's a whole heck of a lot easier to talk about these principles. But if you've had the opportunity for us to each spend some time together, I can tell you that I'm not asking you to do anything I'm not doing myself. You think I didn't wake up with a little bit of fear today? Did you think that I didn't wake up a little uncertain? Did you not think for a moment that I had to meditate? I had to breathe. I had to get into my center. I had to write in my journal. I had to close my eyes. Even while we were doing this, before we started, even between the affirmations, I walked over to my window here, took a deep clearing breath to get in my center. What do you think? I just show up automatically confident in a place of abundance? That is something you learn. And if you learn it, you can teach it to others. You can stay in the light and you can teach with that. So teach your clients, teach your children. And I want it when you look back, you go, man, these were the most growing moments of my life. The biggest amount of growth occurred some of the most difficult moments of my life. And I showed up and I taught by my example and by the words I spoke and by the things that I did, because I taught people how to live in the light. Are you with me? Are you committed to being there with me? I'm committed to staying in the light and in the bright, in the sunshine, when all of the inversion is going on. All of the winter is at its worst. All of the winds, the storms are coming at us. For some of you to say, man, I'm going to stand on a rock, write a foundation. Some of you use that religiously. I'm asking you also to not turn everything. You have a relationship with the Creator. It is a two-way street. You have a responsibility to act, to come forth and be strong, to not live in the stress and in the fear, to be a light, a beacon of hope and possibility. Or you can sit there and worry like everybody else and be one of the sheep. But that's not you, or you wouldn't be on this call or on this video chat. That's not who you are. So number one, you are going to insist that you protect your house. Number two, you're going to teach by your example and by your words and actions. And number three, with all that as you protect and you teach, you will inspire people into action. And they will act. And they will go do because of who you are. And great leaders get people to act. Some leaders get people to run in fear. The leadership in the media wants you to be freaked out of your minds. And some of you keep watching it, reading about it. Anything significant and important will all be told to you by someone who is watching it. They'll say, hey, did you hear? Did you hear? Did you hear about this? You already know the answers to the test. Social distancing. Figure out a way to communicate. You already know. Wash your hands a ton. Wipe down everything. Keep yourself strong by the amount of sleep, the exercise, nutrition. You know the answers to the test. So inspire others to act. How many contacts will you make today? How many families will you impact today because of your bright light that you will bring to this earth today? Your leadership. How many people will be impacted? Every morning I look up to the sky and I say, today, who will I impact? Who today will I make a difference for? You have got to recognize that you are there to make a difference. Find a way. Find a way. Find a way to protect, to teach, and to inspire. Craft a better story. Stay in the gratitude and live an extraordinary life. Even in these difficult moments, stay in the light. What you put in here and here, what you listen to here, what you allow, because it's a choice. Put in the good and empower yourself and avoid the negativity and do what's possible for yourself and for others. You are a champion at the highest level. You were born to do great things. You were born to be great. There's nothing mediocre about you. You are born to be great. You were born to lead. Now lead your family, lead yourself, lead your clients, lead your community. Be the beacon of hope and light, because that's who you are. I know that's who you are. So go do it. Let's have an extraordinary week, and let's finish strong. If you're not on my social media, I am over communicating like a madman. So look, find me on Instagram, George Q. Morris. Get on my Facebook. Get on the company stuff. Stay committed, because I'm going to. And I need you to be there with me. Committed. Committed. So let's make sure we stay in contact all weekend, because we've got a job to do to lead out, to be a beacon of light and hope for those that are in need. You are in a unique environment to go lead like no one else. Let's go lead. Let's do some affirmation. Let's finish strong. Contact your people.